Don't you hate it when people do that? But hey, everyone, it is me, Aries. Um, Coming to you with the review for American Horror Story Hotel, Season 5, Episode 5, Room Service. This, to me, in some way, this episode was kind of a mess. Really, this episode was a mess because some mess was started that needs to be handled and has not been handled because someone slipped up and did something they shouldn't have done. Just because. Just saying. But other than that, before I get into this review, like I said, my name's Aries Mars. Go check out my channel, Aries Mars. Subscribe, like this video, comment this video on your opinion of this episode. Because I liked the episode. It's just that the things that went down in this episode kind of made me mad and wish I was in this episode to slap around a couple of people. But let's get into it. All right. So when we first come into this episode, we see Alex basically taking her temperature because she was turned in the last episode by the Countess. So we see Alex taking her temperature, and it's the same as Holden's. What was it, 75.5, I believe. And basically, she's in the hospital. And while she's in the hospital, she goes to check on the boy that has measles. He's basically gotten worse. Mother basically kind of frantic. No, she wasn't really frantic. Mother, because talking about it could be staph infection and stuff like that. And Alex, she's in transition, so she needs to feed. when you're a vampire, especially a new baby vampire, you need to feed. Everybody knows that. So she noticing the veins in the mother and stuff like that. But she don't kill no one. She's in a hospital, so she goes where the blood bags are and just has herself a feast. And she takes some of her blood and she goes back to the boy with measles, and she injects the blood into his metal. I forgot what it was called. But she gives the boy her blood. And with her giving that boy her blood, I don't know what she did not understand, that now you basically turned this boy into a vampire, and now you basically are kind of, you just basically turned this boy into a vampire. Like, for real, Alex? Like, I'm like, what the is she doing? I understand she became a doctor because she wants to save lives, but in this point in time, okay, she did that to save this child's life, but no, because you know what this stuff does. You know what your blood does. Why would you want to, save this child to have to do what you're doing? That's my understanding. No, you should have just let that go, in my opinion. All right. After that, we go to Donovan and his mom going to Ramona Royale's house. Hey, Angela Bassett making an appearance again. Yes, ma'am. She makes her appearance, and basically Donovan goes to Ramona to strike up a deal. Let's be allies, because he basically is using his mother, telling Ramona that his mother is her way into the motel, because Iris, who is his mother, is basically the it's not a concierge. What is them people at? Basically, front desk attendant. That's what they are. Okay. She's basically the front desk attendant, and she's been working there for a while. And he's basically like the Countess, because Ramona picks up that Iris is in transition, and the Countess, she don't really like the vampires she made to make other vampires, as we found out from Ramona when she killed basically the whole studio of people and basically shot Mo in the head because Ramona wanted to change him into a vampire. Um, and so, and he basically tells Ramona that the Countess never really pays her attention. Countess never really looks at her in her face. My mother is invisible to the Countess, so she won't be noticeable. And allies they are. Because he basically feels like, because he signed with Ramona because he feels the Countess did him wrong as well. Now, in Ramona's case, the Countess really she really did her grimy by just killing, because Ramona was in love. And you want to kill her boo? Who does that? Okay. Then we come back to Alex going to check up on the boy. And we see that the boy is up and about, moving around and stuff like that. And because, he went from the worst to okay. So they go to, so they basically release the boy. They go to release the boy. After that, we have Iris walking back into the motel. She's in transition. She hasn't really fed on human blood yet, so she's still got how when a person is trying to overcome drugs, they had that cold sweat thing going on. That's basically what she got going on right now. She basically got that cold sweat going on. Because she ain't fed yet. Liz tells Caesar. Liz basically feeds her, makes her a cocktail, and this cocktail is like blood and I think she said triple sec. For the drinkers, they know what that is, because I know what it is too, but I'm not a drinker. But yeah, and basically feeds her from the Countess' secret stash of blood, basically. But Liz tells her you're going to have to feed on fresh blood. And then her and Iris, they have a little sentimental moment, and we go to the boy who had the measles. We found out his name is Max. We go to the boy who had the measles house, Max's house with his parents, and now we see Max done ended up killing his parents, slit his parents' throats, and fed on both of them. And he did all this before the school bus came, because when the school bus came, he went on, because it's still in the Halloween October thing, because he came in his car, he basically had on his pirate costume. Max was basically feeding on his mom, heard the bus horn, gets up, wipe his mouth, put on his pirate hat, and head off to school like ain't nothing happening. I was like, dog, this boy is a monster. He slit both his parents' throats and fed on them, and then got up to go to school like it wasn't nothing. I'm like, oh my god, like really? Okay. Then we go to Max going to school. Basically they're having a Halloween party. The Max and one of his fellow classmates, they have a conversation. I think this little girl, she has a crush on Max, or they were crushing on each other or whatever. And they go into the coat closet basically and have a conversation. And they go to kiss, and Max bites her lip. And then Max bites his lip and said, "Hun, you can go ahead and you can taste my blood." Really? Then we come to the teacher in the front of the class asking, because all these kids are sat down, are sitting down now, except for Max and his fellow classmates. Teacher asks where they are. They point to the closet. She walks in there, and she kneels down to find out what's wrong with the girl. Max comes out of nowhere, cow, slices her throat like it ain't nothing. Like, for real? Hold on, let me back up because I'm going too far. Back up, rewind. While Max and that fellow classmate were talking, the teacher, she's like, you know the rules, because, he had a little fake pirate sword, and she was like, no weapons. And she took the weapon, and he was like, no worries, I got another one, and shows this little girl a carving knife, basically. That's what I call a carving knife. A steak knife. Yeah, I'm gonna call that a steak. Basically a steak knife. Not the ones at the restaurant. The ones at home that are sharp. Okay, now fast forward. and like I said, he cut the teacher's throat and basically told the girl to eat, because it'll make her feel better than anything in the world. So now she's a vampire. Then we come while we still in this school. He basically affects the whole classroom. Then he basically affects the whole classroom. Another teacher walks in. He stabs that teacher. Well, another teacher walks in, sees that the teacher that's over the classroom is in the closet and the girl is sucking her blood. Max comes out, stabs the teacher, slices his throat, and tells everybody to feed. The teacher gets away, gets to the office, and they end up locking down the school. So SWAT goes in. We see that more teachers are slaughtered. They get the kids out or whatever, and the police asks Max, the girl he turned, and one of the other one of the other classmates, what happened and stuff like that, and they all have the same story. So they plotted this before they even walked out. So they all have the same story. But now we got not just the Countess and her kids, and Alex, and Donovan, and Tristan, and Iris, and Ramona. Now we got this classroom of kids that's been turned into vampires. Are you serious right now? How can someone put up with all these kids that's being turned? Then we go to Detective Lowe. He's basically talking to, is it his sergeant? Is that what he called the head man in charge of the police force or whatever? But he's talking to his boss. I'm just gonna call him the boss. He's talking to his boss, and he's trying to explain to him what happened and what's going on. And the boss is not really thinking, not really believing it. He's basically, to the boss, Detective Lowe is looking crazy. Well, all said and done, whatever, because I'm not really going to explain this thing, but he ends up firing Detective Lowe. So the detective hands over his gun and his badge. Then we come back to Iris at the front desk. She's trying to hold it together. I mean, even though she's fed on what had 2 glasses of the blood cocktail that Liz Taylor made her, she still needs to feed on fresh blood. So she still got little jitters. And Iris is just not herself. that's not herself right now. So we have a couple that comes in and basically wants a room and talking about a discount and stuff like that. And basically they want to check in. And so they check in. Iris takes them to a room. Like I said, Iris is not herself right now. So these people are talking to her any kind of way. You know, we all deal with these type of people that will talk to you any kind of way and will make it seem like you're the aggressor when they are the aggressor. And me, I can't stand that. Even though some victims can make themselves look like they're the villain. It's possible. I've seen it a couple of times. I've seen it happen a couple of times because it's really true. The victim can make themselves look like the villain. It's very easy and it's very simple. But other than that, back on this. So she takes in the two people. They're giving all these demands. I wanted to choke them for Iris because you shouldn't have to deal with that, especially from people. I mean, I understand it's customer service, but sometimes customer service can only go so far, especially in the motel, especially in this motel. So, Iris goes back down to the desk. Those two people that checked in, they call down with some more demands, pate and all this stuff. I was like, ugh. When is they gonna get? And the whole time I'm like, when is they gonna get? God, when is somebody gonna get them? Someone please kill them. That's all I was saying the whole time. And then we see Tristan and the Countess finna walk out of the motel. And Iris, she's scared because, like I said, she's in transition. She don't want the Countess to find out that she's a vampire now. Because remember, that's Ramona's way into the motel. So she thought that they walked out, and she turns around and the Countess and Tristan are like right there in front of her. Like, oh my gosh. And the Countess is looking at her, and Tristan is like kind of sniffing at her. And, they basically ask Iris a couple of questions. She's nervous right now. Asking Iris a couple of questions, telling her to invite Drake to an event. And, and the Countess, she just looking at her. Talking about something different about you, kind of. And basically that she basically says that you're nervous, and Tristan is like, and you smell different. But other than that, they never really found out that she's a vamp now. So they end up leaving. So Iris tells Liz Taylor what's going on, and these two ladies go into the back and open up a can of cat food, put it on a tray like it's pate, because basically the two people in the two guests in the room who are just giving so much heck, want pate and grilled romaine and this and that, organic. Really? And they're insulting Iris like left and right. I was really feeling for Iris, like for real, y'all. So, her and Liz go back into the kitchen. Liz plops a thing of cat food on a tray, makes it look like pate, and then Liz tells her story. Because Liz says Liz is not gay. She just likes to wear women's clothing. And this is true. Is there are some men that are out there who are not gay but like to wear women's clothing. So just because a man is wearing women's clothing don't make them gay. They just feel that this women's clothing is made for them, basically. And so he tells, so Liz tells her story of how she became Liz. Um, Basically, yeah, Liz was married, had kids, medical rep traveling around and stuff like that. Came to the Hotel Cortez with two buddies, checked into a room, while he is in her room, in the room, he would put on, a woman's, little slip, a fur coat, and some heels, and, prance around, because that's him. That's how he identifies, himself, basically. Um, he orders some champagne. They drop off the champagne. He picks up the champagne, turns around, and the countess is there. And basically, the countess talks to him and basically tells him to be himself. And basically, she I would say configure, no, gives him a makeover. Shaves him bald, puts the makeup on him, and basically tells him to go out and be himself. So she was going to make him, I believe, go to a club, but he's like, no, I can't do that. Then she gives him a little simple task to go down the hall and get ice. When he walks down the hall at first, he's a little, little shy, little worried about what's going on. But then as soon as he got the ice, he came back with a different prance until his two buddies show up. And they start basically harassing him. You fag, or do you have AIDS? Oh, I drunk after you. When you get to the office, all this and that. And Liz ain't having that because she stood up for herself. And the countess pops out of nowhere and slices both of their throats. And then she gives him a story about something. I really wasn't paying attention. I'm like, oh, all right. Give him a little something about shadows and something like that. And Liz Taylor was born. They say he never went back home, sent money until the kids turned 18 and stuff like that. And then she also basically tells Iris that, Iris, you need to handle this. Stop taking it and and teach that hipster couple a lesson, basically, because they've given her so much. Um, so she ends up taking them their room service. They have problems because the couple has a problem because they're grilled romaine. They eating the cat food, which they think is pate. And they're just going at Iris, not physically but verbally, just going at Iris. And Iris had enough. She took the cork that you use on a wine bottle, the corkscrew, took it into the woman, basically sliced her, then got the knife and was stabbing the man in the back, and then slit his throat, and she fed. So she got him. She got both of them, and she fed on. Basically, had her feast. Because in my eyes, there are certain people out there that will just get on your nerves and talk bad to you and talk down to you to the point to where you had enough. And you either going to attack back with your words or you going to snap. Depends on which one you do. Just don't kill them. And then we come back to John, who wakes up in his room and Sally is laying next to him. Baby, they must have had them some good X because Baby John was scratched up. And John says he don't remember, but we see flashbacks of what he does remember. And baby, he was giving it to Sally, honey. He gave it to her. He gave it to her. And basically he tells her he doesn't remember that she needs to go, and Sally goes off on one of her little tangents or whatever, and basically tells them that this is their destiny or whatever. But she leaves. And well, Iris and Liz have a moment as they take the bodies to the shoot and end up having them a glass of wine. Or was it champagne? It was one of them, but they end up having a glass of something, as they put the bodies down the chute. Then we come to Alex in the Countess's penthouse suite, changing basically in this nice black dress. And the Countess brings in Holden, and Holden, he hugs his mother and tells his mother, "Oh, mother, you're like me now. Are we gonna be together forever?" Which she really wants, because Alex really loves Holden, and she's been missing Holden. And basically, the Countess basically tells her she has to play by the rules, and that she is going to be the governess of the kids. And one thing she was like, "Well, what if John sees me?" The Countess was like, "Well, a simple hello will do." She don't care about John. Child. Basically, like I said, the Countess is making Alex the governess over the kids, watching over them, making sure they bathe and stuff like that. And then the Countess tells Holden it's time past his bedtime, and Alex is like, "Oh, I didn't get to spend enough time with him." And then Countess basically reminds her, "You have forever to spend with him." So Holden and Alex go down to the pool, and there is now a coffin for Alex and Holden to sleep together. And so they get in this coffin together, and they basically go to sleep. And that was like a nice sentiment to me. I really liked that part, mother and child sleeping together. But a lot of stuff went down in this episode. I wonder what's going to happen to them vampire children. I wonder if the Countess going to get hold of them. I wonder if Ramona's going to ever really get into that motel, because I know Alex is not going to let Ramona kill Holden, because that's Ramona's plan to kill the kids. So we will see in the next episode. Once again, like this video, go to my channel, subscribe, share, leave comments about your opinion of this episode. My name is Aries Mars, and all right now, peace.